Welcome back, foolish mortals. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm Cordelia, and today's video is going to be an indie Halloween release. It's from the brand Aromaleigh Cosmetics. So in addition to swatches and reviewing this collection, I also included a little mini eye tutorial for hooded eyes. The collection I'm sharing with you today from Aromaleigh is the Victorian Oddities collection. I purchased 3 of the shades in the collection, and then I was also sent another shade in PR. I purchased Deadly Nightshade, which is a super sparkly, gorgeous purple. I purchased Freakshow, which is a beautiful chartreuse with like a pink shift. And I also picked up this beautiful multi-dimensional teal called Put a Bird on It. I was sent the color Mummy Powder in PR. And there's another color in this collection called Arsenic for All. It's a very like high glitter color, high glitter like product, and it's not an eyeshadow. It says it's not for use in the immediate eyeshadow area. All right, it says it's not for use in the immediate eye area, which is one of the reasons why I opted to skip it. Now, in case you don't know, Aromaleigh is a very affordable indie makeup brand. They're one of the OGs in the indie makeup community, much like Silk Naturals or Phyrra, and they've been around a really long time. You can pick up the Victorian Oddities eyeshadow collection at aromaleigh.com, and if you want to use my code Cordelia, it'll save you, I think, 10%. The collection sells for like $6.95 for all of the shades if you want little sample baggies. The mini jars make it, I think, $19.95, and then the full-size collection is like $39.95. So let's go ahead and jump into my swatches. Oh, there are 2 other colors that are swatched with these eyeshadows for you, and that's because I used them in my makeup look. I've had a lot of people requesting that I do swatches that include all of the colors I put on my eyes. And the other 2 colors that you see are from Lethal Cosmetics. One is Profusion, and then the other one is Remedy. Profusion is like a neon yellow-green that is blacklight reactive, and then Remedy is a bright teal blue. But look at these swatches. I think that these colors are stunning. First, we have Freakshow, which, as I mentioned, this is a beautiful bright chartreuse with a very strong pink shift and almost like a wet effect with the shimmer. Then we have the beautiful purple Deadly Nightshade, which is a warm purple with lots and lots of shimmer. I apparently need to add more shimmery purple back to my eyeshadow collection because I have a lot of mattes and not enough shimmer. Next color we have is Put a Bird on It, and this is that beautiful multi-dimensional teal. There's a lot going on in this. And then the last color I have from the collection to show you is called Mummy Powder, and this is like a really deep green, but it has like flecks of teal and gold and all different kinds of stuff going on. I think it's absolutely stunning. Now, this is a limited edition collection. As you know, I'm not really a big fan of limited edition. I hate like that whole FOMO and pushing and stuff, but I don't typically feel like Aromaleigh does this, and they don't often do limited edition stuff. So I am very happy to share these with you. So let me zoom in so you can see this eye look. And this is the fun eye look I put together. Now, if you're somebody who has hooded eyes, you'll love my tutorial. If you don't have hooded eyes, you can absolutely modify this to fit your eye shape. I primed my eye with NYX Glitter Eye Primer. I'm starting with Freakshow, this beautiful bright chartreuse with pink sparkles. I'm using a Smith 253 brush to apply this to my lid, but you could also use a Singe Beauty E1 brush. I'm gonna take a Lethal Cosmetics pencil brush with the Lethal Cosmetics shade Profusion and make this my transition hue above where I applied Freakshow. I'm taking a NYX Cosmetics 105 brush with the Lethal Cosmetics shade Remedy, which is a bright teal blue, and I'm basically stippling this on to the outer 1/3 of my eye. I'm also going past where I have all of the excess skin at the outer corner. I'm switching to a Sigma E36 blending brush, and I'm going to blend where these 2 colors meet, and then softly, very softly, blend some of the blue onto the yellow-green. This is Aromaleigh Put a Bird on It. I'm taking the Blend Bunny 1 brush, tapping it in, dusting off the excess, and then I'm just going to start stippling this onto the outer part of my lid. In the past, I've been told I should only ever use mattes at the outer part of my lid because I have hooded lids and there's shimmer, but I'm at the point that I just don't care, and I'm gonna put whatever color I want there. So it's gonna be this beautiful multi-dimensional teal from Aromaleigh. Now I'm going back to that Smith brush, and I'm just going to sort of blend and tap and pull Freakshow on top of Put a Bird on It. And then because I just want to amp up the shimmer, I'm putting a little bit of Urban Decay's All Nighter Spray onto a little bit of Freakshow, and I'm just going to put a little bit more of that going to use Aromaleigh Deadly Nightshade next. And I'm using it with an IT Cosmetics 125 Smoky Liner Brush along my lower lid. And then I like to go back afterwards with a Q-tip to just kind of blunt along the edge. The fourth and final color in this collection is Mummy Powder, and I'm going to use this damp with a Lethal Cosmetics angled eyeshadow brush to apply as liner. I use Urban Decay's All Nighter Spray to make it damp, and I'm only going to put liner on around the 1/3 to 1/2 way mark. And then I always go back with a little like Q-tip to just help me perfect my shape. I'm gonna tight line with my favorite black eyeliner. That's the Nabla's Black Cupid's Arrow. And I'm going to use a bent eyeliner brush to make it easier. If you're someone who struggles to tight line, I recommend trying a small brush. And then I really just kind of push at the roots of the lashes and wiggle. When you have hooded eyes, tight lining will help you make the most of your hooded eyes. I'm gonna line the lower waterline with the Nabla Ivory pencil. If your eyes get watery whenever you are trying to put eyeliner on your waterline, I recommend that number one, you put eye drops in your eyes first to make sure that your eyes are nice and hydrated so they're not wanting to water. And number two, I recommend then using a Q-tip or a cotton swab to carefully dry your lower waterline before you apply the liner. And I am back. I put on my favorite mascara, which is the Ico Lash Alert Mascara. This is a tubing mascara, and I find it to be the easiest style of mascara for me to apply. My lashes typically point straight down because I have a lot of excess skin from having hooded eyes, and that weight causes my lashes to point down. So I put this mascara on. And then to add just a little bit of extra to the look, I used the Velour Cluster Lashes with the Velour latex-free lash glue. I have a latex allergy, and so I can't use latex lash glue near my eyes because it'll cause my eyes to swell up. I think all that's left for the eye look is just to finish blending out the edges. So I like to take a skin tone shade eyeshadow matte, or actually in this case, it's the Fenty Pro Filter 105 powder, and just with a blending brush, just softly blend at the edges of all the color to make sure it's nicely diffused. I'm gonna put on some more makeup and then I'll be right back. And I have finished putting on all of my makeup. Everything that I'm wearing is gonna be listed in the description box down below. So let me zoom in on that finished eye look for you. Oh, I had so much fun putting this together, and I love these colors. So I have to tell you, the name Put a Bird on It just cracked me up because apparently that was a big thing in the Victorian era. They would just slap birds on things and call it a day. It reminded me of one of the books that one of my favorite musicians, Aromaleigh Victorian, wrote. He wrote a book called like Gothic Homemaking, and inside it, it's like he talks about basically slap a bat or a skull on it and you're good to go. And for whatever reason, it made me think of that. So the Put a Bird on It thing really cracked me up. I love like the whole little mini Victorian collection. What do you think of my eye tutorial? I happen to think it's lovely. I did end up putting on 3 little tiny clusters of cluster lashes because I find that sometimes if I want to just add a little bit of extra oomph to a look, it's easier for me to put on the little cluster lashes than it is for me to apply a full strip lash. And so if you're somebody who happens to struggle with full strip lashes, I recommend checking out the little cluster lashes to see if you find those easier to work with. I only put 3 in at the outer part of my eye area here, and that's just really to help open up my eyes because my lashes often want to fall down and point down because of the heavy weight on them from my hooded eyes. Definitely tell me what you think of the new collection from Aromaleigh. Let me know what you think of this tutorial and if you want to see more like it, or if you have any tutorial requests. Make sure to tell me in the comments below. Thank you so much for joining me for this video, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.